Welcome to the Mentor Podcast, where the most highly motivated entrepreneurs come to get their weekly dose of financial stability with host Ron LeGrand, as well as other nationally recognized thought leaders who will teach you how to get, grow, and protect your wealth.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of thementorpodcast.com. And this is going to be a very special session today because it's all about AI that you've been hearing about for several months now that is literally changing the world around us rapidly. And that feller over there is Brian Hanson, and his middle initials are AI. AI is his life right now. And I asked him to come on here and we talk about a few things that AI will do for you as a real estate investor, and it's going to blow you away. And even if you're not a real estate investor, and we got 30 minutes to do it, Brian. So I know you're not going to be able to cover everything you know about it, but let's start with some cool stuff that real estate investors are doing. I remember you showing us the other day about on our website now, the AI is going to take place of a real person and ask real questions, and you can't even tell that it's AI asking them. So let's start there, I guess.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you for having me. I have a long history with Ron, and we've worked together for many years. I actually started in this industry. I learned about real estate investing by working for Ron many years ago. I guess it was probably over 20 years at this point. And this guy really opened up my mind to the marketing space. You know, I originally started working with a global publishing, actually, and, you know, I was very interested in, like, how does this real estate stuff work? At first, I was almost skeptical, I have to admit. I started working for the company, and I'm like, there's no way these guys are doing this stuff without like an education or like a lot of money in their pocket. And I started looking at all these testimonials and seeing what people were doing. Then I was like literally talking to all the students. And I was like, wow, this is like something I've never seen before. So I quickly became obsessed with it, started going through all the courses, and I did a few deals myself. But I started really learning that marketing was my passion. And, you know, Ron had introduced me into some of the marketers and stuff in the space. And, you know, obviously he's an amazing marketer himself. And I really got into the marketing side of things. And ever since, my life has never been the same. You know, now that I've learned how to do this stuff and how to be an expert marketer, I just can't go back to being normal anymore. but I do realize.
I don't even know what normal is, Brian.
I don't. Well, the crazy part is I realized that everything was up here. Yeah. You know, I realized, you know, my thinking before was I needed a really good education. I needed money. I needed to come from money, whatever. And all that stuff just went out the door. Yeah. This guy's, that's what you really changed for me, Ron, is like my way of thinking. And once you change your brain, that's all you need. You know, that's where it's all at. So
I would tell everybody in real estate, before I can help you make money, we've got to change your thinking about, number one, what real estate is all about. Because right now you're clueless. And number two, what you're really worth, what you can make. That's actually a big problem. People come in and they just don't think they're worthy of making a lot of money because they haven't done it in their life. So, you know, get a few checks and that'll go away real quick.
It's the biggest thing, really. Obviously, the system works. You know, we're not making the testimonials up. You know, it's just really believing in yourself and that you can do it. And so that's really what changed for me is I realized I can. Here
you are now giving back to those who might be in the same position you were. So let's get on this AI stuff because we're limited on time here.
Yeah. So your big, you know, thing in the past for me was the less I do, the more I make. I really latched onto that.
Yes, you did.
And, you know, and it really, you know, that's the path I went down in life. But even the less I do, the more I make. It really wasn't all that easy. It was easier. I was always looking for the shortcuts and the loopholes, but AI opened the door to actually make a reality out of that. So, you know, what I found with AI, we're all looking for that push button marketing, you know, to be able to push a button and make things happen. And, you know, we even joke about it, you know, push button marketing is what we've always wanted as marketers. AI's really brought that to the table for real. And, you know, that's what I see as the big change. You know, when AI really came up, most people were looking at it, especially when people think of AI, it's ChatGPT, which is a very, very big player in the space, by the way. But it was kind of like this cute little toy, like, yeah, it can make some jokes or some emails or whatever, but it, they played around with it and then they're like, yeah, it's not that good. It's really, now it's the future. All the big companies, whether it's, SpaceX, XAI, which is Elon Musk's actual AI company. Jeff Bezos, with Amazon, he's created his own AI. Samsung's rolling out with their own AI. They actually have a robot now that goes around your house, projects movies on the screen, and even feeds your dog water. Like, no kidding. Yeah. It's what the big companies are focused on, and for good reason why, because it shortcuts things and lets you start to do things in automation. And automation is what we all want, right? So like for me as a marketer, as much as I can automate, that's better for us. And, I wouldn't say AI is necessarily perfect yet, but it's absolutely mind-blowing, and it's going towards perfect. So AI does very specific tasks, and it does them well. So you have to train them on what you want. And we're moving into a world where it's going to be called AGI, and that will change everything, which I think is right around the corner. Could even be in the next 6 months. I really don't know. In fact, they could have it done already. They're just, if you think the AI that's out right now is all that's behind the scenes, you're crazy. You're kidding yourself. We don't have access to what's really out there yet. They're holding back on some of it, and for good reasons. It's powerful, and with this kind of power, it's hard to tell. There could be things that we don't want to happen. So you got to pull it out on a certain level.
Everybody's afraid of it, but you can't ignore it because the world's going to pass you by if you try. Look, I didn't want anything to do with the internet when it came out either. And this is even worse. So it's not a question of whether you're going to use it or not. If you're in business, if you're sitting at home and you're not doing a business, you probably don't need AI. Well, you probably will need AI before it's over because it's going to run your household as well. But it does some amazing things. So I'll get back on some of that stuff.
You definitely have to adapt because I wouldn't necessarily go as far as to say you're going to go out of business, and you might. But I will say that your competitors using AI are going to run circles around you. There's just absolutely no possible way that you can keep up with them. You can hire the employees, but your ROI is going to be diminishing compared to what they're seeing. So one of the things that we use is chatbots, and I'm sure everybody's heard of them. There's good ones, there's bad ones. So that's another thing with AI is you need to know what to use. The problem with AI, and this is like the thing that I see as the biggest issue, is there's so many things coming out every week. You just can't keep up with them. And I'm not talking about hundreds. There's, thousands, countless thousands of AI apps coming out every week because they're so easy to build at this point. So you need to kind of know what to use. But once you do and you find the right one, for instance, like chatbots, you can have conversations through text. You can have conversations through emails and on all your social media accounts that are all automated, whether it's inbound or outbound. And, obviously you have to be aware of different things, when you're doing outbound stuff, if they're on your list, stuff like that. But you can have thousands of conversations that are going perfectly, like on point, almost sounds better than humans in most cases. They definitely sound better than VAs, but you can have thousands of those conversations in a minute where, if you wanted to keep up with that, you would have to have 1,000 VAs or employees to have those same conversations. So it's really not a fair fight. And, the cost of AI, and that's the special part of this, it's not just so powerful that makes it amazing, is that the cost is so low. To use technology like this in the past, one would expect to pay, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 just to get access to it. And these tools are costing like anywhere from free to maybe like on the high end, they're usually like $50 a month. So it's very, very inexpensive to get yourself access to extreme power. Even with the chatbots, like our preferred chatbot that we use at a Countless Testing, we pay $200 a month, and that's the highest end. And we can create unlimited bots, and we have them going all over the place. If we were to just do one, it'd be under $50. So to be able to have conversations with multiple people at the same time, That's something that we would have dreamed of in the past. Not only just conversations, but these aren't pre-canned messages that we put in and say, if so-and-so says this, reply with this.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. We put in objectives. So we tell the chatbots what our outcome is that we want, and it'll go off and have real conversations. It shows empathy. It can joke around with them. It literally has a real conversation based on what they say. So no conversation is ever the same. They're all different. They're all extremely tailored to the person. And again, it sounds like a human being. You can't decipher. In fact, we joke because some of the conversations that we see coming in, they're like, I'm just glad I'm not talking to a bot, or I'm glad I'm not talking to somebody, overseas. And they're like complimenting us, of course you're going to get somebody upset once in a while. I mean, that just happens anyway, but,
no, I get used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the big thing with AI, whether it's, chatbots, making even phone calls, AI can actually talk to people on the phone now and have legit conversations that sound real as well. So it's the speed of results. You can't scale. Like if you get your business down, let's say you understand Ron's courses A to Z, you get it, you know how to do lease options, wholesales, subject to whatever the stuff is that you're doing, you get it, and you got a really good system. It's all about how fast can I scale that. That's what AI really brings to the table, is it can scale from 0 to 100 in days. When you can make thousands of conversations happen in 1 minute, all simultaneously at the same time, you just can't compete with that without AI.
I remember the first thing I used it for when I downloaded the ChatGPT app was to plan a trip around Florida in my RV for me. I simply got on there and I said, I want to take a trip in my RV around the East Coast, coming up the West Coast, going through Key West, and I want to know all of the tourist traps along the way, and back to Jacksonville. Literally within 5 seconds, here's my whole route. Then I got on there and I defined it a little bit more because it didn't go to Key West and I wanted to go to Key West and so forth. Here comes it all over again. And that is one thing you're going to have to probably, what you put in is what you're going to get out. But it'll keep taking your corrections and it'll spit out what you want. I mean, amazing what it spit out. We've had it write letters already. And you can't tell they're not written by a human. But hey, if they look like they're written by a human, just tell it to change whatever it is. Like here it comes back with another whole letter. In fact, I just taped them. I did a 60-second commercial yesterday to drive people to hear about my wholesale program. And literally, we gave a little bit of information and spit out 4 60-second commercials in seconds. So I picked what I thought was the best one. I mean, we could go on for days on what this thing will do. In fact, you're going to go on it for 3 days. You got an event coming up here shortly. What are the dates on that anyway? 24th?
It's this month, January 24th through the 26th.
Yeah, it's a virtual event. So, by the way, have you got a place where they can go and learn all about that?
Yeah, actually, the website's thementorpodcast.com/AI. That's
okay.
thementorpodcast.com/AI.
Pretty easy to remember. Go get the information on that, guys and gals, because it's a one-time event. It's 3 days and it's all virtual. And it ain't free, but it ain't a high ticket item as well. And you owe it to yourself to make darn sure you get up on this. And there ain't nobody better qualified to get you up on this than Brian. But I'm telling you right now, you ain't gonna get it all. So be prepared. Yeah. In fact, Brian, are you teaching that whole 3 days yourself, or is somebody working?
Actually, we're going to have, I'm definitely going to be teaching quite a bit of amazing stuff there. And I'm bringing in some experts, some of the top AI experts in the world, not just even in the United States. In fact, some of them aren't even in the United States. But, we'll have the owner of HeyReach come in, which is a LinkedIn AI tool that will automatically find buyers in your area. So it'll go out and find real estate investors to build your buyer list. It does it on automation. So it goes out, it finds them, it starts emailing them. It's an amazing tool. And the beauty of that tool is you can do it at scale. It's not like the other tools that you may have seen where you can only send like 40 messages a day. This thing's going to build your buyers list. It can help you find private lenders. I mean, heck, it works for any business, really. But Ilya will be joining us. We're going to have the owner of CloseBot, the developer, who actually used to work on special projects that I can't even talk about for Boeing. He was a senior AI developer for Boeing and left to start a real estate investing business. And he actually created the tool out of a necessity to run his business. And it's one of our favorite tools. And in fact, we got an amazing lead just last night in Orlando. The guy got the property through inheritance, but just watching the thing, we'll show you the demonstrations there at the event. Bryce will be joining us, and we have several other experts that are going to come in. One of them, Jason, who's actually a student of ours. He ended up creating so ChatGPT can do a lot more than you probably realize. A lot of people to make an email, maybe a blog post. Jason's perfected the art of taking MLS data, so all the data out there, and taking the risk out of buying. So it shows you the exact areas within a mile radius that you should be buying, what kind of square footage, bedrooms, all that kind of stuff. It gives you all the data of what's selling quickly, because it all changes. It doesn't stay the same, but he's got a method to take all the risk out of where you should buy and what you should focus on. So you can narrow your sights down on the specific neighborhoods that are going to sell the fastest. So he's going to show you how to do that stuff. That's called ChatGPT's data analysis. So ChatGPT can actually go through a bunch of data and crunch numbers as a supercomputer in seconds. So you can upload stuff from the MLS. Heck, you can have it be a financial analyst and go through all your financial docs.
So how can I use it to go out and find sellers in various categories?
Sellers. So the sellers, we're going to be teaching that. We actually tie that into CloseBot to have the conversations. The event's not going to be all AI, because AI doesn't work on its own. What you also need to understand is direct response marketing and sales. So all three work together in order to make AI work perfectly. So you see a lot of AI stuff out there, but it's more than just having the right AI tools, which in itself is a mission, because there's so many out there. We're going to show you the right tools to use and how to get the traffic to those tools so it can go through them quickly and bring over qualified leads, so you're not wasting your time talking to tire kickers and going through all the stuff that you don't want to do. You can get on the phone and have conversations with real interested people that actually want to sell their house and do a deal with you. We're going to show you how we're generating those leads. You get on Google AdWords. Some of you know, if you're active investors, that's going to cost you at a minimum probably $100, but most people are paying $300 for a lead. We're generating leads on places like Facebook ads, running to the chatbot through our messenger. We'll get into all this technical stuff at the event, but we're getting leads for sometimes under $5. Definitely under 10. So we're going to cut your marketing costs way down. We're going to cut the amount of time that you invest into this stuff way down, because you're probably doing a lot of stuff you shouldn't be doing. Many of you are solopreneurs, I'm guessing. So you haven't started building up your team and employees. This stuff can kind of take over. So, what you would pay even for a VA, which is very cheap, you can replace those things where you might be spending like $20 a month for something that's going to just take over and have multiple conversations, multiple leads coming in. So,
and in this case, if you're driving them to your website, then you're not even going to be on it to talk to them. The bot will be. So when you get the information, they're all screened out.
It's all about pre-qualification. We're trying to get rid of the junk and put the golden nuggets on the plate. So
that's big.
Who wants to talk to all the time bandits? And, we don't want to waste time. We want to cut to the chase and only talk to the people that are legitimately wanting to sell, that we can make money from.
Quality leads.
That's what we're going to show you how to do.
Now, Brian, I can tell you right now what our listeners are thinking to themselves, especially the old ones like me. Who's going to do all of this stuff? Who's going to set it up? Who's going to make it work? I don't have a clue what you're talking about. And man, that seems like an awful lot of stuff for me to learn.
It is. And quite honestly, as much as I sound like a techie guy, I don't like to do any of that crap either. You know,
I know. I remember when we used to call you the laziest man in marketing.
yeah. And, you know, honestly, I got away from that for a while. I used to love that title because it was true. And then AI came along and brought me back to my roots. So I'm a little more smiley these days because it's getting a lot easier to do. But
well, our VAs are getting trained to manage it for you and limit your work. But it's just like our dream system. You know, you've got to be able to tell it what you want to do, or at least ask someone what can it do to get me leads or whatever your mission is, and then they can take it over from there. So I don't want you to spend 100 hours trying to figure out how to do AI. I want you to spend a few hours trying to figure out exactly what it can do for you, and then you'll know when to implement it. It's just like anything else. It's going to take a while to learn it. So what? You know, take this cell phone right here. I've had this thing about a year, and I've probably learned 5% of it. I doubt I've even learned that. Truth is, I don't care about the rest of it. I only care about what I'm using it for. So that's the world we live in today. So the answer is you delegate it. And in fact, I'm delegating it instantly. My team, which consists of Tish and my acquisitionists, are going to be in your seminar. They're going to do the delegating. I'm not going to do it. I'd rather have a root canal and go learn all that stuff you're going to teach and have to do it myself, because I know it won't get done.
And I totally agree with you. Well, some of it, I have to say, because a lot of this is push button, you're probably going to want to do some of it just because it's fun. Like when I tell you all you have to be able to do is write a sentence of what you want and push a button, that's how most of it operates. However, there are things that require a little bit more. And you know, that's why we help you find people that can do these things for you and implement that you don't want to do. We actually, we're going to show you how to find people that can jump in and do all the stuff that you don't want to do. So you can completely be hands off. But what we do want to do at the event is show you how all of it works, because you do need to understand it.
That's true.
If you do it, you know, in fact, I encourage you not to.
You've already located the people we're going to outsource to, so we don't have to go searching around for that.
Correct. We show you how to locate this.
Yeah. I mean, if we don't have a clue what it'll do, I don't know how we can carry on an intelligent conversation to discuss what we want it to do with somebody who can actually make it happen. And it's pretty quick too. It don't take long to set it up. So give me I'll tell you one thing it did for me, Nick. You know, I do videos all the time, and the camera's sitting on top of the TV screen, and then of course the slides are on the screen. So you know, I have to look down a little bit. This sucker took my video and moved my eye so I'm looking right at the camera. After I did it. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. In fact, some of them might have heard the story about where somebody created a video with AI of Ron DeSantis bowing out of the race a few weeks ago. And it wasn't him. It had nothing to do with him, which is the scary part here, because I can see a lot of scams coming up with this stuff. But hey, the more we learn about AI, the more we can see the scams when they come at us. So anyway, can you think of some other things? I'm putting you on the spot, I know.
Oh, no. There's so many to talk about, Ron, and that's why I'm excited for the upcoming event, because, you know, you already know I always go over. I have so much to give on this stuff because there's a lot. You know, I think where things are going, again, a lot of people think of AI as just ChatGPT. There is a whole bigger world out there. ChatGPT is an amazing tool. We're going to spend some good amount of time on that, but that's not going to be it. You know, and this thing can make your ads for you. So if you're running ads on Facebook, not just like a picture, it can literally put text in the picture with you just putting a sentence. So you can say what you want, and it can pop out your ads. It can write your captions. It can write your follow-up emails. It can write your website. It can write all the copy, sales copy for you. It can tell you what's wrong with things. You can upload pictures of properties, interior and exterior, and it'll tell you what needs to be fixed and how much it's going to cost.
Get out of here.
This stuff is,
I want to test that. I want to test that one out. All right.
Yeah, it's next level. That's called GPT vision. You know, GPT can see, it can hear, And the amount of things that you can do with it is amazing. I mean, it'll literally customize a bedtime story for my kids at night. Like there's the things I do with this stuff is countless. But I think the big thing that I want everybody to understand, because it is new to all of us, many people call me an expert all the time because I know a lot more than everybody. But even to me, it's fairly new because this stuff just came out, not all that long ago. Some of it's been around for a little while, but AI just became mainstream in the not so distant past. So I just want you to understand that this isn't like trying to learn Facebook ads or Google ads or some of these things that it's not necessarily that they're hard. It just takes a lot of time to learn. Once you learn this to learn this stuff, all you got to be able to do is type a sentence and hit go with most of it. Yeah. You just need to understand how it works.
And I know it writes letters. Suppose you want to send a letter to a seller that whatever, they're in probate or they're in foreclosure or whatever. You can tell it the gist of what you want it to say, and it'll come up with this letter. And if you don't like it, you tell it to change this or add this, and you come up with another one. And then you tell it, well, now I need a second version of this letter and a third version. I mean, this used to take hours to write these things, and now it's just talking into the equipment. It's incredible.
Speaking of that, Ron, it was either yesterday or the day before. There's a GPT store now, so you can create your own apps. I'm going to show you, every one of you, I'm going to teach you how to create an app, really cool apps in less than 5 minutes. So it's super simple. You can create apps, but like Ron said, you can teach it how to write letters to sellers. The problem that GPT used to have is you'd have to pre-prompt it with all these things, and it was kind of technical to really get your voice. So it was hard to really teach it how to speak like you, because the more you typed in, it would start to forget stuff. So it'd do an okay job. I'm not saying it wasn't good, but just recently they've updated that. So if you create a GPT, which I'll show you how to do in about 5-10 minutes, it's super fast. Everybody can do it. I don't care what your technological experience is in the past, but I'll show you how to create a bot that, let's say, it writes emails out to sellers. It now remembers everything from the past. This just rolled out recently. It was the last day or two. So the more you use it, the more it understands who you are, which is groundbreaking, by the way. So it starts to become you over time. And the more you speak to it and the more you use it, the more it understands. And that's brand new. That was the limitation with ChatGPT, is you had to keep going back and reminding it and pre-prompting it and doing all these technical things. Now you just got to keep using it.
Well, Brian, tell us, where does it get its information from?
So it's going to get, the AI in general, it's getting its information from every single piece of information on the web. Yeah. So all of the intelligence and stuff we've done as human beings that is on the internet, it can look at that data and give you a response based on every single thing on the internet in seconds. So we really can't compete with that. No. The part that it was limiting it is, how can it be you? How can it talk like you, think like you, and act like you? Now it's able to do that over time. It continues to learn your personality and become you. So your team, let's say you're using a VA, for example, they can take over and start using your app that you've created that speaks and talks like you. And now, even if they don't speak perfect English, maybe they're in the Philippines or somewhere else in out of the country, because you're paying a cheap fee to use them, obviously, they can start to sound like you because they're using an app that is you.
Wait a minute now. What did you just say? So I'm having somebody from the Philippines talk, and their accent is there. Can it take that language and convert it to English so it sounds like they're not from the Philippines?
It's going to sound exactly like you talk, whether it's text. And in fact, now there's tools like 11 Labs. There's a lot of different stuff out there where it can actually take your voice and they can type messages out where they can speak as if it was you. But the problem was, in the past, is somebody from the Philippines would get on there and have an app like that that's so cool, speak for you, but they can't type it out. Now they can use ChatGPT to write the script. And now it sounds exactly like you. And they could use that for emails, your website, whatever. But if they also take that data and put it into something that can create an audio, now it sounds like you. And one step further, because it's hard to go into this stuff without showing you, but we'll do this at the event. You can actually make a video that you're speaking, talking, and it sounds like you, it looks like you, and you can't decipher if it's a bot, like an AI or not. It'll be like me sitting here saying all this stuff, but I'm not really saying it. So AI looks at my face, creates a facial image. It listens to my voice, creates a voice recognition. And now my VA team can type out messages as if I was actually creating this video.
So tell me, will it make me look younger?
Yeah, I'm sure that's probably possible right now.
Well, if it ain't, you go invent it, because that would be cool for us old geezers. All right. Well, I think we made the case. This is so amazing. Go to the mentorpodcast.com/AI. And I will tell you right now, the cost is $997 per, for your entry on there. And of course, you can put as many people in front of the screen as you want to. You can't give out their link, but you can bring them in your environment, home or office or whatever, like we're going to do. Actually, we're going to have, quite a few of my staff will be attending this thing, and probably even me. At least I'll know what I'm not going to do and delegate to them. So that's incredible. All right. Can you think of anything else that our viewers ought to know that this thing can do for them?
Well, I'd like to sweeten the pot a little bit. So obviously $997 for this event is extremely low compared to what you're going to take away from this stuff. And I'm sure you've bought events in the past that were well over that.
Not me.
This is going to be one of the best events you guys have attended, but we are going to add in some things. So we're doing another event on strictly traffic for AI. So we'll be teaching traffic stuff.
Generating leads when he talks about traffic. Some people think he's talking about cars here, right?
Yeah, it's an event completely on lead generation that I'm going to be doing with my business partner, Francis Ablola, who's not on here today. We're going to roll out a VA placement service. So we'll help you guys find a VA for your business if you need one specifically for the AI stuff. There's different types of VAs out here. We're going to show you how to find people that can help do those kind of things. We're going to give you access to many different calls that we've done in the past on AI. We've been teaching this stuff for several weeks. You'll get instant access to all of those trainings. And we're also going to give you 6 weeks of our mastermind group where we talk about AI and we can help you specifically. So if you hop on and you have questions for your business, you want to figure out how to implement AI into your business and use this stuff, we're going to give you 6 weeks access to that, which is basically a mentorship program. We're going to be
for $1,000. You're going to do all that for $1,000? Okay. Well, let me make a statement right now, because guys, we didn't really get on here to pitch this event, but couldn't help ourselves. But there will not be another time you're going to be able to do this for $1,000. You can trust me on that. And just no way. So this is I don't know what you call it, a test to see if we have the interest in it. And then we'll keep on rolling out whatever the market tells us that you want to see, but not at $997. Okay. So you got one shot at this at that price. And in fact, I should bring this up that masters get 10% off of that. So if you're a master, when you call, tell them that, and that saves you 10%. And frankly, since we've done all of this, you might as well just go there and register and forget about going to do his video to talk about it, because it's coming up real fast.
I'll do one last thing too for everybody. If you guys sign up for this today and you're getting registered, we're actually going, and this might not apply to everybody, so it's a little bit of a bonus. We're doing another event January 31st through February 2nd that's tailored towards coaches, authors, and speakers. And we're going to teach you how to apply AI to that type of a business. But even if you're not, I don't want to teach something, maybe you know somebody that has a skill, we'll show you how to take that person and build them into an authority using AI. So if it's of interest to you, I'll give you a free ticket as an added bonus. I'm
glad you didn't discuss this with me ahead of time. I just had a thought, forgot what it was. Now, if you got people working with you in your real estate business or any business, because this stuff's going to apply to any business, no matter what it is, you should make sure they're in front of this camera when he does this stuff. They won't get another shot at it. He's not going to tape this thing and just send out the tape to it. You got to be at the live event to do it, because there won't be another one like it. In fact, every time you do a live event, it's going to change drastically, because AI is changing that fast as well.
Yeah, it'll never. Yeah, they're all going to be different.
All right. Well, you got any last words you want to share with our folks before we get off of here?
The only thing that I would say is, particularly with this subject, is, whether you learn this stuff from me or not, I hope you do, because we're doing it at a ridiculously low price, and I'm going to blow you guys away. I guarantee that, especially with our other speakers. We have some powerhouse people coming in, but take this stuff seriously. I do. I want to make sure that you're fearful of this stuff, because you need to be. Again, like I'll go back. It might not put you out of business, but if you don't learn this stuff, everybody's going to be jumping on this, and you're still early. And the people that are using this are going to run circles around you, because they can contact and work. They can reach out and have conversations and move at the speed of light, because this stuff it acts like this.
I hate to bring this up, but your competition can even create a video of you looking like an idiot, kind of like Joe Biden when he talks, and make the world believe that you're losing it or whatever, and make you even look like Brian, look like a mountain man. So you got to be aware of what they can do to you as well along the way, and be able to recognize when it's an AI thing. So what's your answer if this bot is asked, "Are you an AI?" What does it say?
Well, right now it'll give it the name that you want, and ours is Sam. I would guess at some point they're probably going to have to pass some type of law to require that you say it's AI. Yeah. It's not necessarily the case now that I know of.
Sure.
But, you can't tell. Like there's, in fact, if we weren't doing a podcast, I'd love to just show you, because these conversations, when I said the out of country can't sound this good, we can't find people to do the DMs and the text messages in the United States to sound this good. Like it's really that good.
That's cool. All right. Well, I can't wait. All right.
Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, man. Looking forward to seeing you here very shortly. Guys, just go in and get registered right now. I don't even know what the rules are. I'm sure you can back out if something happens before it happens. But again, it's not going to be taped and delivered to you, so you get one shot at it. You'll do it again, but at a much higher price. All right. You got any one last statement you want to make today? Is what? Something brilliant.
I'm looking forward to seeing everybody there. This is going to be one heck of an event, and I'm honored that I can do it with a good friend of mine and somebody I've learned so much from. Especially, this guy's motto is, "The less I do, the more I make." There has never been a better time and that I've ever witnessed in my entire life to make that statement true. And I'm going to prove it to you guys at the 3-day event. So looking forward to it, everybody.
Okay. Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Soon. All right. Bye, y'all.
That's all for this edition of the Mentor Podcast. To connect with Ron and learn how you can attain financial freedom, as well as up-to-date strategies to grow and protect your wealth based on today's discussion, go to www.connectwiththementor.com.